Next on the Beyond the Flags podcast is a driver that made his debut in 2021 in the Friesen Performance IMCA Modifieds. Now he is a up-and-comer when it comes to talent in the Pacific Northwest. We're talking about Olympia, Washington's Austin Rognlin, about his transition from being a motocross racer as a kid to now a modified pilot, and where the path has led him to some pretty good success so early in his career. That's coming up next. But before we get to the interview, make sure wherever you're listening or watching from, you hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Well, here we are back on the Beyond the Flags podcast, and we're going to be talking with Friesen Performance IMCA Modified number 81R pilot. It's Austin Rognlin out of Olympia, Washington, the capital city of the Evergreen State. Austin, this is the second interview we've had with each other, but the first one here on this platform. We got to chat a bit at the IMCA TV Winter Nationals all the way back in January down at Kokopah Speedway.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be able to speak with you. Able to get down there in Arizona and spend some time and try to get some more laps under my belt, and hopefully bring in some practice back up here to our local home track of Grays Harbor, and trying to get out there and run some laps.
Yeah, you had a not terrible winter in Arizona. You spent obviously the entirety of the IMCA TV Winter Nationals. Made a feature on January 12th, wound up 18th, but I mean, when we're talking about the field that amasses, there's some very, very fast cats that definitely have a lot of accolades and a lot of speed as well. And no doubt it is a great experience for you to get a chance to get that exposure of some of that high-level, top-shelf talent.
Yeah, exactly. Just making a main down there is super, super tough. Like you said, those guys have years and years of racing, and they don't really make mistakes. And so it was definitely a learning curve. I made that first feature, and I was pretty stoked, to say the least. But definitely learned a lot. Tried to absorb and deal with the fast guys. They're just a whole different breed of drivers down there. They're awesome.
Well, and then you went to Casa Grande at Central Arizona Raceway the next weekend, and was that your first time there? You've been there before?
That was my first time there.
Okay. I mean, 3/8, you're used to that, racing regularly at Grays Harbor Raceway, but it's kind of a high banks 3/8. It's a different breed of animal, too.
Oh, no doubt. It was weird when I was talking to some of the drivers, for me being there the first time, they were saying, run the same gears that you did at Kokopah. And it's a little bit smaller, and I'm like, there's no way, but you carry so much speed into those corners with the banking that's there. The track is very, very fluid, and you're able to carry so much momentum that the car setup was struggling at the first. I kept bearing the right side, but kind of got her figured out, and made a couple A-mains down there and had fun doing it.
Well, and I was going to say, Kokopah, that probably feels right up your alley because it's sort of very similar, not quite a cookie-cutter copy, but a very close copy to what you're used to at Grays Harbor.
Yeah, I would say the consistency of the track from top to bottom is way different, but the shape and the corners are going to be, but Kokopah, you get to run so wide there. It's very intimidating when we're going, 3-4 wide into the corners. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't very used to that, but definitely was really action-packed racing, and was able to learn to hold a line and be able to go around on the track more.
Well, we've made 15 features so far this year, 6 top 10s, including a second-place result at the fair race at Grays Harbor last Saturday. How would you say 2024 has been in your, I guess you would call it your full sophomore season?
We struggled. As soon as we came back, I really felt good leaving Kokopah and felt like I had a fast car. Put a brand new body and a brand new wrap on it from Fusion Graphics. And the first race, we made it about a lap and a half before people piled into everyone. And so that was very tough. To kind of go into that and crunched up the body pretty big. But we started out the season with a couple DNFs, and it's only getting better and better.
Yeah, no doubt. It's great to great to hear that. As I've been watching you a lot on IMCA TV, and it was really good to see your guys' result last Saturday, even though it looked like it was a bit of a challenge. Just the way things turned out when you guys went out for the feature was still nice and sunny, and it looked like it was a technical racetrack, and, you know, able to finish second there against some pretty fast cars. I mean, can't feel too ashamed there.
Yeah, nothing to hang my head about there. You know, we started, I believe, seventh. And it was kind of a caution fest right off the get-go. People were spinning out, there was some character on the track. There were some big holes and lumps, and then it would go into a dry slick, so people were making some mistakes, and I was able to capitalize on them and stay out of some of the trouble, so that was nice.
Well, I alluded a little bit ago, I guess I mislabeled it, second sophomore season, full sophomore season, because last year was your first full year.
Correct.
2022, and I think I pointed out in this interview down in Yuma, is I remember this guy with a name that looked like it was difficult to pronounce, posting, I'm going to survive the 55, you know, I'm getting this modified, I don't know what gears I'm supposed to run, and then obviously people helping you out there, but that was my first memory of being exposed to you. Then, Matt, you have to survive the 55 that at Skagit Speedway in Alger, Washington. And then I've just been able to bump into you quite a bit throughout the last couple seasons. For you, what kind of got your interest into getting into racing?
Kind of a funny story. One of my, we grew up down in Elma. And I went to high school down there. And always was around the racing, but was racing dirt bikes growing up. And then one of my employees raced IMCA Modifieds, and he said if I got a race car, he'd beat me. So, of course, I had to go out and buy one. And I bought one from Doug Davenport and had a couple issues. I think that first year I had 4 races that I attempted to run and had issues with the car, and nothing on Doug's end, but we had an evap that was plugged up. Finally got that figured out and survived the 55 was like my main first race, and that was fun. And so then I just kind of stuck with it the last couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt that had been a little bit of an intimidating deal going into basically the den of the chief lion of the den full of lions.
Oh, of course. You know, it was funny. The first night that I ever hopped into a modified was Modified Nationals. Unfortunately, my car didn't, like I stated, I had a DNF. I didn't make it through the heat race without blowing smoke all the way out of my car and oil all over. So didn't make the main, but that was my first race. And then definitely hopped into it with the Survive the 55. And that's a whole different animal up there as well, and it brought a lot of the fast drivers from Oregon and Canada and Washington, so definitely kind of just jumped straight into this stuff.
Well, and then last year had a bit of success. You won a race at Grace Harbor on August 5th. That had to feel sensational, being that you were still, and still are, and this isn't a negative remark, but still new to this modified deal. You're still learning things constantly.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to be able to get up there, and you know, the whole Tyson Blood family, they helped me out so much. I kind of shadowed them last year and this year, and we go down to Arizona together, and so they've really helped me out and taken me under their wing. And so it was really nice to be able to talk with someone that's had great success in this. And yeah, I'm still new. I'm learning something every weekend, and you know, and it's showing. You know, I was able to win the fair race last year and second this year. So, you know, I think just getting more comfortable with the car and definitely getting to run with the faster people will keep making me faster.
Well, and who is your employee that has a modified?
Oh, it was Ryan Haney, the 67.
Yeah.
Yep. So he said if I got one of those, he would beat me, and so of course I had to go buy one. And then also Chaz Wilder, he was working for me too, and so got him back into racing. And it's been good to see both of them out there at the track and hanging out like we did in high school.
Yeah, no doubt. That's super cool. That's really cool. And then Obviously, Grays Harbor's still got some racing left, and there's the Survive the 55. I mean, anything beyond that you guys are going to try and hit, or just kind of stay local in the Pacific Northwest?
I'm going to finish out Grays Harbor here. I'm not traveling too much. Just work's been super busy, and I own a boat business here, and so I'm during the summer it's kind of hard for me to travel too much. Mm-hmm. Definitely going to hit the Survive the 55. Might look at hitting Vegas for Duel in the Desert, and then definitely going back down to Arizona, and going to stay down there hopefully through February this year.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we would see a cameo of you at the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's in Boone. I'm sure it's on the list somewhere, but like as you said, this is the busy time.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Chaz Baca the other night about it, and wanting to go over to Super Nationals, and definitely gonna try to go down to Duel in the Desert. He said that's a very fun track as well, and just trying to get down there and learn from these fast people and kind of see, where we can run and what we can do.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no. And I mean, like going back to beginning and everything, growing up in Elma, so obviously Grays Harbor, it's right there. It's like right in the middle of town, basically, well, on the outskirts of town, while you're trying to get on the highway. But I mean, you went there as a kid, I assume, and grew up just watching racing there in your youth?
Yeah, exactly. I was racing dirt bikes growing up, and during the evenings we would go and watch the races, and it was kind of cool to see sprint cars and these modifieds, and even back then they had a cruiser class, mm-hmm. And Hornet. So it's been fun to watch, and now being part of the show has been really great. It's cool to see the kids and the fans that have watched racing the whole time, and now I'm out there doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. And the cruiser class, that was one where you had a wheelman, and then the other person worked was it just the brakes, or was it also the gas, too?
Just the brakes on the one side, and the guy steering had the throttle and the throttle and the steering wheel on the one side, and the other guy had the brakes.
Man, yeah, I've seen him, and I like Travis Brerity, who is the longtime flagman for the Northern Sprint Tour. He was I think he was a champion there as well. In that division. But you want to talk about communication skills, you got to have some good ones with that.
No kidding. I don't know if I could be able to handle that. But definitely it's been fun, and especially to watch that class, that's a true test of a crew member.
Are you looking to find that adrenaline rush, but you can't because you're not at the racetrack? Well, check out the IMCA TV Replay subscription library to have access to thousands of hours of racing for just $24.99 a month. Relive all the moments of the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's at Boone Speedway, the Harris Clash at Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota, the IMCA TV Winter Nationals at Cocopah Speedway in Somerton, Arizona, Florida's Clash on the Coast, and dozens of Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program racetracks from across the nation, as well as the IMCA TV Dirtcast podcast. Plus, 25% of that $24.99 monthly fee goes towards the Drivers Point Fund and is a great way to help out your local racers. In 2023, over $97,000 was paid out to IMCA drivers directly at over 50 racetracks across the country. Please note that live broadcasts are not part of the replay subscription. That's IMCA TV. IMCA TV, where America comes to watch racing. Well, let's talk about your number. I always love to hear about number selection. 81R. Is the 81, does that harken back to your motocross days, or is that something that you came up with, or something that was significant to you?
No, that does go back to my motocross days. Ever since I was, I think, 7 or 8 years old, I was number 8, and I went to a track, and there was like 3 or 4 number 8s that were in my class, and so they just assigned me 81, and so that just stuck, so I didn't have to keep changing my number. And well, then once we got into these race cars, everyone had 81, or there was multiple numbers, and so it went 81R, and so that's why it's 81R this year. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a cool story. And obviously, where you live, the state capital, if people didn't know it, it's not Seattle, it's not Tacoma, it's Olympia. That's the state capital of the Evergreen State. It's a beautiful part of the country. You've got the Puget Sound there, the South Sound and everything. And no doubt, as you said, marine activities is a very, very big deal in your part of the woods.
Yeah, exactly. We live by a lot of boating and a lot of water, and so it's hard to juggle. I'm actually trying to get out and use my boat more and help everyone fix their boats. And so racing kind of is hard during the summer, and that's why I'm trying to focus more of my time for the winter down in Arizona. We're a little bit slower at work, and I'm able to go and get away.
Nice. Well, and outside, I mean, obviously work is a big priority, and then racing takes a lot of time. But for you personally, things that you like to do while not focusing on working activities or racing activities?
Yeah, I spend a lot of my time out on the water. I have a 46-foot boat, and so I go out and enjoy and hang out with our yacht club members and a lot of my customers. And, I go hiking and go hunting and just enjoy my time outdoors as much as I can. And love turning wrenches on stuff. So I'm always working on race cars or building something. So it's no shortage of free time.
Yeah. Well, and you're kind of like put in a really beautiful, like perfect place for people that like to do outdoor stuff. You've got rivers for like fishing, obviously the Sound for boating, but also, there's lakes that aren't too far by. Olympic National Forest is just down the road, literally. And then you've got the mountains to the Cascades to the east. If you're into outdoor stuff, you're in a prime location.
Oh yeah, there's always something to be doing outside. It's absolutely stunning here. There's, like you said, there's hiking, biking, cars, trucks, all sorts of kinds of stuff that we can play with, and we spend a lot of time outside.
Nice. Well, for you, if somebody's coming to Olympia in the city, right? What are some cool things to look at or to visit?
Oh, definitely just walking downtown on the boardwalk. There's a big boardwalk that goes all the way around a bunch of marinas and a lot of local pubs and some good seafood bars. Able to go down and enjoy and sit outside and just I love being by the water. So that's probably one of my favorites to do is go down and have dinner right on the water.
And clam digging, that's a big deal around your parts too, right?
Yeah, we have a couple different. We have a bunch of horse clams and gooey duck that people dig off the shores of the bay. You can also go down to the beach, like Ocean Shores, and dig razor clams. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of different seafoods that you can try here, sushi restaurants, and it's actually a beautiful place to be up here.
Well, and the mosquito and insect life isn't too populous there on the Sound, even though it kind of looks like murky and muddy sometimes. It's not too bad, right?
Yeah, the mosquitoes and the bugs don't really bother you too much. Definitely can you have your normal bees and all your normal stuff that's out, but it's not too bad, and you're able to enjoy your evening and not get eaten to death, so that's good.
Well, it's always a great chance to catch up and talk with you. I know that you've got some great people that sponsor you and some great people that support you too. And as we wrap things up here, I just wanted to give you the floor to talk and acknowledge about some of those folks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this without the help of Doug Davenport. Definitely I call him almost daily and talk to him about, how to deal with my race car or what's going on. And normally he just tells me it's me, and if he was driving it, he'd win. So if you know Doug, that's typical. But can't thank him enough. The whole Blood family, Tyson, Sarah, Eddie, even Travis and Becky has all helped out. Once again, I wouldn't be here without them. It's just really cool how they've opened up and told me what kind of stuff I need to be doing on these cars. I have a couple other sponsors that have helped me out, and L&M Body Shop. I have Paymore Recycle Center. We have Limeberry and Lacey, which is frozen yogurt, a good customer of mine, and he just enjoys racing, so he helps me out. We got my two businesses, Olympia Marine Center and then Rognlin Motorsports and Marine. I wouldn't be racing if I didn't have these businesses. So I can't thank myself enough on that and my businesses. So it's just really cool that all of them come together and really help out, and racing's like a huge family. So it's really, really enjoyable.
Well, that's super cool. And is there anything in the pipeline to support your race program through apparel sales or anything? Is there any T-shirts or sweatshirts that folks can purchase, or is that something that may be happening in the near future?
Yeah, we just started getting into the sweatshirts and T-shirts, and typically just have them at our local shows right now, and at when I'm racing wherever I'm local at. But working on getting a little bit more and maybe some other stuff going as well, and trying to get back to the kids as much as we can.
Awesome. Well, as I said, it's always great to catch up with you and talk with you, and we'll definitely be bumping into each other, I know, down the road, and can't wait to keep following your wonderful trajectory for being so new to this division and having so much success so early.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to it, and kind of just keep my head down and keep grinding away and trying to get better.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions.